how to retire off of the boys club. Okay. So because we got the pump this weekend. So here's the range that we had built on Bitcoin over the course of 7 or 8 months this summer. So let me actually put this on the daily time frame just so you get a better picture of this. So Bitcoin built this range right here where basically what market makers are doing is they're accumulating their bags so that they can send this price much higher. And whenever they're going through this range, what they're doing is trying to elicit emotion out of people and traders and get them to jeet their bags, get them to take profit, get them to sell their Bitcoin so that the market makers, the big dogs, can get their average entry price a lot lower than if it was just up only. Okay, so they create this range where they're pumping it to the top of the range. People are taking profits at the top. They start to shoot the price back down. People start to sell, capitulate, take profits, think that it's over, things is going to go lower, and then the market makers come in at the bottom of this range, and during these 3 deviations, they come in and they go ahead and accumulate their bag, so they get a lower average entry price. Okay, great. So then finally, you get this one big green candle outside of the range. You see, boom, as soon as it breaks out of the range, then we have a breakout, a confirmed breakout, and then the price goes much higher, okay? So pay attention to that range that we had built and what that looks like, all right? So now we go to Ethereum, right? So we got 2 little ranges that played out on Ethereum, okay? So we had the big range right here, the accumulation through August through November, whenever everybody was down on ETH. Everybody thought it was over for ETH. It's never going to pump again. Oh, and we were basically waiting for this Ethereum breakout so that our meme coins, our Ethereum plays, could start to catch a bid as well. Okay. Finally, we get these 2 big green dildos. Bang. We break out of the range. We get a confirmed breakout. We got a little pause here. This is on the daily, so let's put it down on the 12-hour. We get a new little range right here. Okay. So we get the breakout. We come back down. We fill a little bit of this FEG. We go ahead and build this range right here. Range, reaccumulation. We get this big green candle, another confirmed breakout. And then now price of Ethereum is back in an uptrend. Okay. So this is good. Now, seasonality plays into this as well because the context in which we're going into this bull run is that Bitcoin typically in a bull run will outperform Q4. So Q4 is Bitcoin season. That's what we saw since Q4 started. Bitcoin broke out. It's going much higher. The rest of this December, we should see Bitcoin go over 100,000, probably up to 115, 120,000. We could look at the fibs on that in a second, which is great. So we want Bitcoin to continue to go up. But what you're going to see is now that Ethereum is catching a bid, and Ethereum just hit its all-time high inflow on the ETFs as well yesterday, over $1 billion in ETF flows, net positive flows. You're going to start to see Ethereum start to catch up with Bitcoin, okay? And that's what we're seeing right now. So Ethereum's starting to put in some green days whenever Bitcoin's not doing as well. So we got Ethereum starting to break out. Q1 is whenever we should see Ethereum greatly outperform Bitcoin and eventually get back into price discovery, which is back up at $4,800 right now. We're only at 3,600, okay? So everything's looking bullish. Everything's looking good, all right? And anything you want to comment on that real quick, Bees?
I sent you the chart to your email of the Boys Club bull flag, that tweet from this weekend. It's like the bull flag from the 4 Boys Club members, if you want to pull that up.
Yep, I got it.
I don't know if you want to hide your screen for a second, pull that up.
For sure. All right. Let's do a little Mr. Producer. I know which one you're talking about. I saw that as well. All right, hold on. Let me screen capture, do the zoom, boom. But yeah, so you see how those ranges are playing out on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then I know exactly why Logan wants me to look at this. Because, let me download. How would I do this? Let's do a little plug for the Taylor's code. Let's look at this. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen on Zoom. And then look at these bull flags ahead. Let me adjust the screen share. So this is a chart that a gentleman had posted on Twitter. That was real good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Can you see this, bees?
Yep.
All right. I just want to make sure it looks good on the stream too. So as we've seen Bitcoin and Ethereum draw those ranges and hit highs, right? So let me change my view on trading view screen capture. There we go. All right, this should be better now. Okay, I gotta hire somebody to do the Mr. Producer moving forward. So this is the 4 boys club now. Okay, so this is where we're at with the boys club. Now you have Pepe, Brett, Andy, and Wolf. Pepe being the largest market cap, Brett the second, Andy, and then Wolf in succession. So in this last week where we saw Bitcoin starting to range and do a consolidation and Ethereum do the same thing, you saw these big pumps on the boys club as the breakout for Bitcoin and Ethereum happened. Then we started drawing these bull flags. Okay. All 4 of the boys club members drew the same exact bull flag pattern. Okay. So it's basically you build short. So the market makers build these memes short so that they can send them long. Okay, so they make them look like they're coming down lower. People start to capitulate. People start to sell, start to take profits, thinking that it's over, thinking that they're not going to get more pumps out of this. And then the market makers, they fill in their positions a little bit lower price, and then bang, they shoot them up higher. So you can see how literally all 4 of the memes built the same exact bull flag pattern. And guess what happened? Brett was the first one to break out so far, but Brett built this consolidation, this low reaccumulation range at its previous all-time highs that looked beautiful, right? Brett being the second one. And then if you look at these charts further down the line where they're at now, we're going to show that in a second, Brett broke out. Now it's at all-time highs again, right? And now it's pausing real quick again, waiting for Bitcoin to move again, and then Brett's going to go up higher. I'm going to show you the fibs on that as well. But all 4 of these memes are playing as perfect beta to Ethereum, which is essentially beta to Bitcoin, right? That's exactly what we want. We want data that shows how our memes are going to perform in certain environments, not random speculation in terms of where that meme coin is going to go. These are directly correlated to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're building the same patterns that they're building as well. So that's how we know, okay, we can be bullish on these memes. And the whole point we're bullish on these memes is because as Ethereum goes up 10%, Pepe is going to go up 30%, and Brett's going to go up 50%, and Andy's going to go up 100% compared to Ethereum. That's what we want. We want leveraged bets on these majors.
Yep. And I think this is why I was saying at the beginning, it's so important to zoom out on the charts a little bit, because there's definitely days. I mean, we saw it over the weekend. There's days where some of these members are going to outperform the others dramatically. This weekend, Brett was dramatically outperforming everything else. I mean, all of them were pumping, but Brett was definitely the clear outperformer from this weekend. But if you guys look, I mean, this is the daily chart, I believe. So this is looking at a time frame of, pretty much the entire year, half the year of 2024. So there's days where some seem better than others. You guys want to rotate from one into the other, then back into what you had. And you just end up over trading. But when you zoom out a little bit, you see that these charts are all pretty much correlating to each other over the course of 6 months. And if you put Ethereum on this chart, you're going to see that these charts are all moving almost in direct correlation with Ethereum.
Right.
So obviously Pepe, I think, is kind of the leader of the boys club. It has the highest market cap. It has the most exposure. I mean, especially since getting listed to Binance, Coinbase, and Robinhood as well, which was huge. But you guys saw that positive impact that Pepe had getting listed directly affected the rest of the boys club members, because it's a trickle down effect. As people find out about Pepe, they're going to find out about Brett, and then they're going to find out about Andy. They're going to find out about Wolf. So especially if you guys are holding all of the boys club members, like we've been preaching about doing since the beginning of the year, especially, I preach about not over trading, but rotating between the boys club members, we've found out, is just completely foolish, because these coins are all going to pump. You might have days or weeks where one outperforms the other, but if you're trying to chase one and then rotate back into the other one, and you're trying to play the dips and the pumps off these coins individually, you guys are going to end up getting burnt. So diversify throughout the boys club, have faith that these are going to move as Ethereum moves. And There's going to be days and weeks where some outperform the other, but right now you guys should be loading up on these coins. Today's a big red day for all of them. Don't let that deter you. Don't let it make you fearful. Today's a beautiful day to load up on these coins even more.
And bull runs, pullbacks are for buying. Okay, be convicted. Pullbacks are for buying. What I've done really well over the summertime and recently is in the last couple of months, anytime there have been pullbacks, I've just trained myself to buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more. And that does two things for you. Number one, obviously it DCAs, so your average cost per token is going to go down if you bought towards the top, right? You made that mistake. But number two, now whenever you buy dips and you really pack your bags whenever the coins are pulled back, when you do eventually get that 20%, 30% move back to the upside, not only are you regaining all the value that you had lost during that pullback, but you're going to see how much harder your bags pump because now you have a lot more of that asset. So that 20% move is going to be 20% on a lot larger bag as opposed to if you just didn't buy the pullback, if that makes sense. So you have to train yourself to buy dips in a bull run. Those are your opportunities to get entries. The last thing you want to do, and people make this mistake all the time, this is why they're not effective in these markets, is they get excited when they see green, so they buy green. It's human psychology. Monkey see green, monkey buys. Monkey see red, monkey sells. But that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. If you want to be profitable, you have to buy when people don't want it. Whenever it's pulling back, whenever there's fear, you buy the asset because you have the foresight to know that this asset's going to be desirable in the future. It's going to appreciate, so therefore I can sell it to you whenever you want to buy it when it's green, just like XRP right now. People are buying this massive green candle on XRP. You don't want to be that guy because all you're doing is becoming exit liquidity for the people that had it at the bottom and then want to take profits on you. So you go ahead and buy in for a couple of racks and they just take profits on you. So you got to have the foresight to say, okay, this is a bull run. I know the context in which we're in right now. This is going to be the price of this asset is going to be much higher in 6 months from now. So now that it's in a pullback, I'm going to know, okay, I better buy this at a better price, at a better entry. So let's take a look at these on TradingView. But yeah, go ahead, Bees.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, if you believe in Ethereum and you know that there's no way that Bitcoin's going to break out 25% above previous all-time highs, 30 to 40% above range highs. And you don't think that all of these institutions that have billions of dollars on the line with, things they've built out on the blockchain with Ethereum and the ETFs getting approved on Ethereum, and you guys don't think that they're at least going to push it to new all-time highs, if not at least 30 to 40% above previous all-time highs like they did on Bitcoin. I mean, I think at this point that plays a no-brainer. So if you guys believe in Ethereum performing well in January, which historically is when Ethereum performs the best, and then the boys clubs, yeah, I mean, you guys see the correlation. I mean, I've talked to it about, to multiple people that I've preached to about getting involved in the crypto markets this cycle. If you look at the boys club charts and you compare it to the members, or, you compare it to the Ethereum chart so far this cycle, I mean, you guys are going to see it's direct correlation. It's literally leverage Ethereum. So if you guys believe in Ethereum performing well throughout the rest of the cycle, you guys are in the perfect position. If you're in the boys club, don't cheat. No, it's not time. I'm not selling any. I've said it time and time again. I'm not selling a single thing until 2025.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and even for tax purposes, you guys don't want to be cheating your bags right before the new year, because then you're going to be paying taxes in April on the shit that you made in 2024. Wait till 2025 before you start taking profits, so you don't pay taxes till 2026. So that's just in and of itself just not intelligent.
Yeah, and I think too, it's important for tax purposes to remember the big difference between crypto and the stock markets is whenever you want to buy, say you have Apple stock and you want to get Tesla, you got to sell your Apple stock and claim those profits and recognize those gains to be able to then use that US dollar to go ahead and buy Tesla.
Yes.
Where with crypto, if you want to get out of Brett and you want to buy Andy, or you want to get out of Brett and you want to buy Ethereum or whatever it is, you don't have to sell it and recognize those profits. You can just do a swap from one to the next. So at the end of this cycle, or whenever you guys are getting to the position where you want to start taking profits, which, we're going to be calling that out in the Taylor's code and telling you guys what our plays are and telling you when we're rotating and everything else, make sure that you guys are still keeping it in the crypto market and you're swapping it. If you want to do the most conservative, safest play that you can, rotate those profits into USDT.
Yes.
Rotate it into USDT. You don't have to recognize the gains. You don't have to sell it and convert it back into fiat currency. Rotate it into USDT. And if you guys are in the Taylor's code, we're going to be telling you what the play is upcoming here in Q1, Q2 of 2025 to be able to still be profiting without having to pay a bunch of money in taxes by converting that money into US dollars. You don't want to do it. And if you want the play, join.
I've been telling them, I texted a couple of people this week after Brett just absolutely ripped past all-time highs. I said, and if he's watching, he'll know who it is. I said, so have you been buying Brett? Because I've been telling everybody to buy Brett. Both of us have been telling people to buy Brett since we first started accumulating it at $300 million market cap back in March-ish. During the summertime was whenever we were really pushing it, saying, hey, buy Brett, buy Brett, buy Brett, $600, $700 million market cap. Brett's now at over a $2 billion market cap. So if you guys were just accumulating whatever we had told you to, you'd be up 2-3x already, minimum, okay? So hopefully you did. If you're not paying attention, if you haven't been paying attention, you're not inside the Taylor's code, then yeah, click the link in the description and join so you can actually start to participate on what it is that we're doing here. And so I just wanted to draw real quick these ranges that had played out on Brett and Pepe. So we're talking about how I've been posting the Taylor's code for the last week, this beautiful, beautiful accumulation range at the all-time highs that Brett had been putting together. Okay, so you see this little range I drew down on the bottom. So this was Brett pumped up to its previous all-time highs, right? Rejected, and then it just reaccumulated for this past week here. Just boom, boom, reaccumulation, reaccumulation, reaccumulation. And the reason that played out so beautifully is because it did not draw back down. It didn't go down into a downtrend and start bleeding. No, Brett shot to its all-time high, built this little range here, which is basically it accumulating energy to be able to take its next leg higher. So Brett's doing this beautiful, beautiful reaccumulation, and as soon as it broke out of this range, boom, you see the two huge meat sticks, and it actually came all the way up to a, what is that? 23 cents, so $2.3 billion market cap. So notice what's happening on Pepe right now. Pepe, it just happened to go first on Brett. So Brett already broke out, and Brett's going to take its next leg higher. Brett should get up to about 25, 27 cents before we make a new range and reaccumulate again. Pepe is about to do the same thing. So Pepe's still in that accumulation range, right? So this is where you should be loading up on something like Pepe because you're still within this range before you get that imminent breakout. So Pepe is going to do something similar in the sense that it's going to be like this. So, it's down here. It might come down here, come back up here, and then eventually it does its breakout just like Brett, right? That brush is so shit. Every time it's shit. So, but you get the point. So it should play in this range until you get that eventual breakout, and that's going to pump up just like Brett did. So you guys see the similarities within those ranges. If you look at something like, so let's look at Andy. Andy, you can draw the same thing. Look, you just go ahead and do this. If you want to draw the range like right here, something like that. Hold on. Yeah, something like that. Right? Andy's doing the same thing. It gets this pump, okay? It's close to its previous all-time high. It does this reaccumulation range, right? So it's building this range right here, and the same thing's going to happen with Andy. You're just going to see I know there's a way to do this. Hold on. This one's better. Andy's going to do a similar thing where it's going to go like this. Come back up to the range high, and then boom, breakout, okay? That's what you're going to see happen in all four of the boys club. Now, how does this benefit you knowing this information? Well, you're supposed to accumulate whenever the market makers are accumulating. This is whenever they're picking up their bags. That's why it's called an accumulation range, because they're accumulating the asset in a sideways price action so that whenever they're ready to send the price up higher, they can do so with a nice entry. So that's what's going on right now. So again, Brett already had its breakout. It led the four of the boys club this time. Which, keep in mind, Brett doesn't have any Coinbase listings, doesn't have any Robinhood listing, doesn't have any Binance listing, but every single other major meme coin ahead of Brett has already been listed on all those platforms. So that shows you how much strength is behind Brett and its desire to be bid by the market. It's not on any major exchanges. Not a single normie has access to Brett unless they went on chain and actually bought it on chain or on the Coinbase wallet, which again is still more steps than just the Coinbase app. Brett, once it does get listed on these major exchanges, which I believe is going to happen here soon, that's why I just had this recent breakout. I bet you that means a Coinbase listing soon. Brett's going to go fucking insane because there's already so much of a bid before it got listed on any major exchanges. So you're still early to Brett, considering the fact that it's not even on Coinbase, Robinhood, or any of these, or Binance, where most of the people are going to be buying their assets from. So, but anyways, the point about this range is this is when you want to be accumulating Andy, because when Andy starts to range, I wouldn't wait till it comes back down to range lows because I don't necessarily believe that it will. But once you get closer to this mid range, that middle white line, right, which is about almost where you're at right now, that's where you should be accumulating. Buying Andy, buying Andy, buying Andy, waiting for this imminent breakout if you're looking to get a position. Guarantee you that Wolf is looking the same way. Yeah, look. It's the same shit on every fucking chart. It just hasn't broken out yet. Brett's the only one that's already broken out. So draw this real quick. Same thing. Boom. It's just reaccumulating. Pumps up, comes back down into this range, is reaccumulating, and then it's going to break out again. It's the same shit for every single fucking chart.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, this is why I think it's just so important to zoom out a little bit. Because if you guys are just obsessed with the daily charts and you're looking at it day to day to day to day, you're going to exhaust yourself and you're going to be stressing out. Because I mean, you look at the Wolf chart for today, it's down what, 8 to 10% on the day. So you see that move to the downside, you start panicking, you start freaking out. You're like, oh man, if you have a pretty big position, you're down a few $1,000 today. You're like, all right, that's it. I can't take this anymore. You want to get out. Not financial advice, but it's not over. Right. It's not even close. I mean, yeah, like with the position that Ethereum's in right now and how much companies have on the line, they're going to send it higher. It's just inevitable. It's just waiting for Bitcoin to cool off a little bit. I think we're going to get one more. Personally, I think we're going to get one more big leg out of Bitcoin. I think did you have the fibs on Bitcoin?
Yes, I should. And if not, I'll redraw them. I actually already have fibs on this different pane for Brett, so I want to show the guys what Brett's looking at. But yeah, let's look at Bitcoin real quick. All right, so I don't have them drawn on here, but I'll draw it real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that we've been preaching it since May or June, just about exactly what was going to happen. So we said Bitcoin was going to drastically outperform Ethereum. It would suck up dominance, and then eventually, once Bitcoin starts to cool off, Ethereum is going to get the green light to run, and that's when altcoin inevitably is going to begin. So obviously, it's easy to talk about it, but once you start having those red days where your portfolio is down, 10 to 15% on the day, it's easy to start reconsidering. You want to capitulate. You want to get out and say, all right, I can't take this volatility anymore. But like I've said again and again, if you guys enjoy the volatility to the upside, you got to enjoy the volatility to the downside just as much. And that's where, like Priamo said, you got to be DCAing, you got to be buying more, and you just got to have confidence and conviction in your plays, and know that we've done the research, know that we've studied this, know that it's exactly playing out. I mean, we've heard plenty of people say it, that, it almost seems like a simulation, the crypto markets, how consistently they move in cycles and how cyclical the market really is. It almost seems like a simulation because it's just the same thing over and over again. So yeah, January is Ethereum season.
Yes.
And it's still early. So even for Brett, I mean, he's going to pull the fibs on that here in a second. Even though Brett already broke out a little bit, if you zoom out a little bit as far as what it's going to do this cycle, once it gets some major exchange listings, which I think at this point, in my opinion, are inevitable. There's still so much meat left on the bone. And the longer you guys wait, the longer you guys, wonder if it's going to go higher, you wait for a better entry. Every one of the boys club members right now is a buy, strong buy, according to TradingView.
Strong buy it.